All right. So I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay then. All right. Now this is the folder we are working on, and this is the login, the first login. So you move to VS Code, and then inside VS Code, inside VS Code, now we come to File, and we open a folder. Then we come and choose this one on desktop, our trial and one. We select this folder, and when we select it, uh, we select it, we shall now be in position to see our files, and the files are right here. It is one, and the files are inside here. So when you want to create another file, you click here, new file, and if you want to create a folder inside this inside this folder, then you create a subfolder using this new folder. So what I was meaning is you click here and type in index.html, and I hope you have done this because I already have an index.html already. So those who do not have this file, um, let me copy it, and I put it into put it into the chat. Oh, it's too long. All right. Okay. Now, who does not have this chat, this file, this one here? Is there anyone who does not have this file? Hello, can I assume we have it? Yes. Do we all have this test file I sent some time back? So if we don't have it, let me try to host it somewhere. I share the link so that we can have it. Put a notepad link. I put it inside there, and I save this desktop, our trial, and inside one. I save this as our text. All right, so uh, to that person who does not have this file, this is the link you are going to use to access it. Uh, our text, our text dot txt. Let me check back. Okay, let me put it inside here. Content.txt. Okay. Content.txt. All right, good. Okay, see, this is going to be the link. Oh, someone is saying they can't hear me. Is it the same case with the others? Owen, have you tried to connect your microphone?
I can now hear you, Shafiq.
Okay, good. Now, for those who do not have the index file, this is you just click in this link and it will bring something like this. And then what you will do is to copy into your index.html, and then those who are not around, this is the style that we had made so far. Let me also copy it, and then I paste it inside this. So for it, you'll copy it from. Let me create more spacing now. You'll copy it from here up to down, so that's where you're going to proceed from, and it must have been updated over this file. Okay, good. Now it's right here. Just get it, copy, and then put it in the style.css. Are we together? So now can I assume that we have copied this file and we all have it? Hello. Can I assume we all have this file, index.html? Okay, Owen. And now I've shared this link, Owen. Just click in it like this, and then it will take you to this file. What you do is to copy, you highlight, and then press Ctrl C. Then you move to your VS Code here, and then you highlight and press Ctrl V. You will have the file, index.html. You have to be inside here and paste it there. This is the real file I sent, the first file I sent in the WhatsApp group. And the other one is this one, the CSS that we did yesterday, but one is this one. So you also copy it like that, Ctrl C, and then you move to the CSS file, style.css. You Ctrl A to highlight whatever that is inside that file, and then you press Ctrl V to paste. So that's it about the file. So are we now together? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, good now. Good. All right. So I am going to proceed. We are going to proceed together and slowly by slowly until we make this form. Remember, we want to make this form, and this is what we have now. When you copy the two files. This is where we ended last time. But this is something we want. This is something we want, as good as this. So we have to move a long way up to when we have something like this. And about forms, we shall only make two forms. And if you know how to modify any two forms, then you can modify any other forms. Remember, these are things that you can get over the internet, but editing becomes a problem. Now, what we want to solve here, the major issue we want to solve here, is to know how we put the gradient here. When you make you point at this, you see gradient colors turning. There is dark this side, things like those. That is what our emphasis is upon, because even these files we can get these files over the internet, but the major issue is how do we edit. How do you call classes and then we edit those classes in CSS? That's the major issue. So that is why we shall have two samples, and with the two samples, I will wish that someone know everyone knows how to make to call classes, call divisions, and then edit the divisions. All right, so this is what we have, and that is where we are. So we are going to actually proceed now. That is where we stopped. So now we move down here. We stopped on this thing here, the container of the form, and we're on the title, and we're on something that lies below the title, the so-called before. Yes. So, and this is actually the thing, this one here. And we edited it in that way, want it to be absolute, to always move with the title. The title is defined here. Where is the login? Now it is called by a class. And remember, with the classes, we said we call them by a dot, and IDs we call them by a hash. Now that is why we have the dot here. Okay, now the other thing we want to do is that we want to transform. We want to make transformation. I don't know if we had completed this or we had not completed. Let me see before. So the before of the title. Yes. Now we have to make a gradient color. We have to make a gradient color after. Yes, we need to make a gradient color after, and we are still on the form, but now we want to work on this underline here, So when you come to this one, I think it is not like ours. So what we shall do, because we are still on this, I'll copy the same statement here. Copy the same statement here. Just see. And then come and I put it here. Okay, so we had finished editing the container, and the container is, where is the container? Yes, it is this one. Now the container lies inside this division, and this division runs. If you want to know where the division is ending, you click in it once and you'll see down here that even this thing is highlighted. So that simplifies for us that it is that div we are working with. So inside this container we have a form. A form is that thing that will hold the data that will be sent that will be sent somewhere. That will be sent somewhere the moment someone clicks probably on continue. So whatever that lies inside here, that is what will be sent. That is what will be sent somewhere. Okay. So now I hope we when you open uh, this file here, when you open this file over the internet, this is what you must see. Do we all see the same thing?
Yes.
Okay, who is not seeing the same thing so that we can actually help them out, and then we ensure that we are moving at the same pace. So now I hope that silence shows that we must be moving at the same pace. That silence shows that we must be moving at the same pace. Okay, now because we have made now these editings about the before, let me see if it is actually almost the same as this. Yeah, I think it is almost all similar to that. Then now the other thing is now we are going to edit what is next after this. Now after this one we have these ones. Yeah, because we want to edit them in order. We started with this one and this one. Now we want to edit this one. And now to edit this one, we have to go in the index.html and know the class that is linked to this. So we have to go here and now know the division. The division is here, and the division has input box. Now when you highlight one, you'll see the input boxes that are mapped by that class. Now this is what we want to edit next. Yes, we want to edit next the input box, and the input box is in the container, and inside that container it is within the form. Yeah, so what we shall do here is that we shall say dot container. Why? Because it is a class. We say the classes are called by a dot, and then with the form, even when we don't bring that word dot, because a form is an element, it is known. It is known. Now we introduce the dot input because that one is a class. That is why we put the dot input box. So you bring the same thing the way it is here. Even when you copy this thing for purposes of being so accurate, and then came here after the dot and pasted it like that, it would make the same sense. Yeah, so we come here and open those brackets, and inside here, that is where we put the arguments. Now we want to declare the width and the height. Then we make sure that the margins on top there is some space. Now you see here there is no space, and here there is some space. So those are the elements we shall those are the editings we shall apply with this. So the width, remember we said because this is an intelligent IDE, the moment you put WI, it will highlight something like this. So you just need to press enter, and it finishes it all, and then it gives you somewhere where you have to define the width. So we want to make it 100 pixels or 100%. Yes, 100%. And then the width is done. So after declaring the width, we can declare the height to probably 45 pixels, and then we see Okay, yes, it has created some space. I think you can see. And then we want to make sure that margins at the top, see, now use these arrows, the arrow down and arrow up, and you move through these elements. So the margins on top there, we want to reserve some space like about 25 pixels, and then we check. Yes, now we see there is some spacing. That's good. Yes, we are not yet there, but I think we are coming. Okay, the next thing, we want to position it. Uh, Now position takes different parameters. Uh, it has absolute and it has fixed. Absolute will move, fixed will not move, and relative will always move with the content. So relative is okay, and let's go and see. Now it is like that, but now this one we must leave this one. We must leave this one when it is like this. We don't want to leave things when they are half baked. Want to leave it when it is like this. Okay. Now we have declared the position. We have positioned it very well, and now because it has these inputs, you see, this is a placeholder for email, and this is a placeholder for password, email and password. Enter your email and then enter your password. Now, those are the things we are going to edit next. And how do you call them in the CSS? They are inside the input box and their types are input. Now, because they are carried in as elements, we don't need to put a dot or anything because they are elements. Elements are known, you just put them there and then the IDE knows you are talking about that thing. Okay, so here what we shall do, even when now you copy this one, the whole of this thing, the whole of this one, Control C, you come down here and paste it. The other thing you add is just input, telling the IDE that you want now to edit the input. Now we want to give the input width and height at 100 and we see what happens. So it is 100% of this, of the whole of this rectangle here, 100% of the whole of the rectangle. So you see, now the height also need to declare the height because sometimes the width moves with the height unless otherwise. Moves with the height unless otherwise. So we declare it to 100. Now we want we want that it does not have these borders, because you see here it is only a line. I see a line. Now what do we do there? See a line. I just see a line there. What do we do now? Because we don't want that border, and that border is an outline. When you come to Word, remember I told you that with the CSS we are basically editing and those things are in Word. All of these things we are talking about are in Word. We can position images to relative, we can fix them. Now when you come to Word here, there are some things like the borders. There is outside. There is outside border. Now, if it is an image, we shall call it an outline. Outline. And it is an image. You have put an image inside here and you want to edit that image, you can put borders on that image, and that you only see that when you have put in the image. So something here will come about format. So you click here and then edit it. It's outline. Okay. So here what we have to do is that we declare the outline. and we make it to we don't want these ones, we make it to none, and we see now I have to close this, and we see it has not gone away. Outline up to none. It's not going away. Okay, let's put the font and see font size. We want the font size to probably be, let's fix it to those pixels. Okay, all right then. And now we want, yes, we want the border. Yes, the border, true. We want it to none. Yes, yes, now it will go away. I'm sure it must go away. Yeah. Now we want to now work upon the underline. The underline. Want to work upon the underline of the form. The underline of the form now. And I have to declare its content as none. So we don't stress ourselves when we want to do that. We just copy this because we only want the underline. So the underline is in the form. So we can actually stop here, copy this. Let me see. Something we need to see here. Now the underline lies below, just below, so it is the one we want to edit. It is the one we want to edit, so that this word enter your password lies down. There is something down here. So you see, these two classes are the ones we are going to call, and we edit them so that we have something like this. First of all, we have first terminated. We have first terminated the border of the form. Yeah. So now declare the form, and then of course the underline, and we are going to call it by dot and underline. So the underline is what we are going to edit there, and sometimes we use the word before. That word is actually used to insert some value before some attribute. Now, for example, this one we can assume that this is an attribute, and anything that lies before that attribute we put this is known, and that is why it is shown here. So we put it there so that we can edit anything that lies below it. Okay, so now what you want to do, you want to assume that this thing is going to hold the content, and we shall leave the content side empty, and what we shall do after that is that we are going to make it in to position in a way that is a bit absolute, just like we positioned the title before to be absolute. Now the other thing, we want to give it a height. And see if it will respond. Give it a height, and let's assume the height is 2 pixels, and probably we also give it the width eberenge emalayo up to 100, up to 100%. So 100% of this of the whole of this. Okay. All right, so okay, So we also want to make up something like a background on it. Before this, okay, let's first put a background of color white. This color code is let's go to the internet here and choose white color code. White is this one for CSS. Okay, is this one. How many Fs? There are 6 Fs. All right, good. So 1, 2, 3. Of course, we have to put the hash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As it is not coming. Let me try a C. Yeah, let's see. 3 C's here. Yes, good. It has come. Okay. Let's try to see. Now it has put them because we have declared a background of that color. Now we want to make sure that the left is denoted to 0 and the bottom is also denoted to 0. Remember we said when we are putting values as 0, we don't put measurements. So remember that we had before these ones we had them like this. So we didn't want this, so that is why we declared it as 0 to the left and its bottom, so that it can be removed, and we have something like this now. Okay. Are we together? Hello? Hello? Are we there?
We're together.
Okay, I hope you are following with your laptops there, because I want you to give me screenshots in our group showing me that you have a form. You have a form like the one we are making. Yeah, so that I can also have a smile. I have a smile. Now, because this is the one we are following, we shall be there, I hope. I hope we be there soon. Okay, now, what we want to now work upon is the underline after, and we use these words, the after and the and before. Sometimes people might be tentatively confused, but the main difference between the before and after is that the before inserts content before the actual content. Any content that is there in that form, the before inserts content before that actual content, and then the after inserts content actually after, just like you hear the word after. So it inserts content after the actual content of an element. So we are assuming that the underline class is here and there is an element called enter your name. So if we declare before, whatever editings we shall have made, they will be inserted before this one. And if we put after, whatever changes we would have made would be put after that. That's simply it. So we now want to move on. We want to move on with now the after. The after here. We want that there is this thing there is this thing here that I have liked on this thing. It is very nice. I have liked it, and now when you come to this one here and you click, do you see this thing that is coming? When you don't click there, it doesn't come. When you click there, it comes. Don't you think it is nice? As for me, I think it is nice. And let's see how we can come up with something like that. Now we want to move to our code here, and we want this underline here. I want to edit, to continue to edit this underline, but after, so what we do, you can typically decide to copy the whole of the code here, copy, and then you paste it here, because now we want this one to be after, and then the content, we leave it like that. The position should be absolute, and then the height, we leave it like that. Even the width, it means now we don't want to tamper with this height, with the height and width of this thing. Now what we want to do is to make sure that we work upon the background, so that even here, just like you see, the background changes now after. So we want to make the background a gradient, because as for me, what I see, this is a gradient color. Now what do we do with the background? If you want it to be a gradient, then you remove this one, it becomes irrelevant. You write the word gradient, and it must be a linear gradient. And we said earlier on that linear gradient has from up to all to the right, all to the left, something like that. And it takes in red, green, black, and then some other color, this other color. Where is it? We declared it somewhere. This one here. So it takes in these three, and then you have to declare all of them. So whenever you want to declare these color codes, and you don't want any of these ones, you just declare them as 0, so that they are not left out empty. So linear gradient, want to make it to the right, want that linear gradient to be moving to the right, and after declaring that, then you move with a color code. Now I want to use, now let me use, I think this one. Let me use this color code here. This one, I copy this one, I put it here like that. Yes, it has come. I will use that one, and then I put it to 0 degrees. I put a comma, and then I declare another color, because a linear gradient can take up to more than one color. So I want another one that is, let me check the color codes here. This one I want, and I'm interested in. Okay, that one will not help me. Let me use this one. I enjoy using most that one. It is not black. Yes, this one, and I want to scale it to actually 100%. Let me see. Good. Now they have come. Now the other thing I want to do, let me leave these ones to 0, and I want to transform the scaling, the scale X. Now you see, these ones are all parameters taken by transform. You can move to Google and type in transform, and then you'll see you'll be in position to get this and know what they're used for. So we want to declare it to a 0, and then the transform origin should be moving to the left, and we want this thing to be moving just like you see here. You see the way it is moving, it moves to a certain speed. So all these things you have to define them, because these sites don't just move like that. Now you see it is not there, and when I click here, it is not coming because I have not defined the transition for it. Just like you go in PowerPoint and you create transitions, and then you give them transition time. You create slides, and then you give them transition time. Want them to move all maybe 0.3 seconds with ease. Okay, now these ones. Okay, now the other thing about these ones, now I have realized the other thing about them might be that emphasis on this input device, on the input box, are put on focus and valid, so that when a user is focused on input, they are triggered. They are triggered when a user is focusing on input. And if it is valid, then it is there. If it is not valid, then see this one goes out, this one comes like that. So they must have a focus and a valid, I think. Okay, now that one we have known. Let us proceed with our editing. That one we have known. Now we want to scale the the transform. And I think no, let me first leave space here. I first try to solve this problem. Okay, now let me see. Let me check the index here, and I see. Okay, the index page here, the underline. All right. Okay, I think I need to let me now relate to this one, and I see. Right. Okay. All right, then move back to our code. I think it is important. To also declare the scale of x to 1. Yeah, I hope it is important. Let me try it. Try it here, and let's see the transform scale x, we give it a 1, and I also try to transform the original transform, and to its left. I've declared those already, and let me see if I have. Okay, they are doing the same thing. Now let's go on this other button and see. Let's first edit also the button. Let's first also edit the button. Okay, the button is like that. All right. Okay. Now the button is input box button. Input box button. Okay. Input box button. But I think this thing here, let me check it back. And this thing must have a focus. Whenever a user is focused on inside here, that is when it brings these ones, else it does not bring them. So it must have a focus on the underline, and then when these things are valid. Okay. Hey. All right, now I think I have got the problem now. I've got the solution. What we have to do is to come and copy. Let's copy all this one now and paste it here, and inside the container, the form. Now the input box have to, because they are in. Let me check this, the index here. What is in the input box? Input box underline. What is being held by underline is this one. Okay. So what we do here, form, we bring in the dot input box. It comes, and we want to edit the input, the focus of the input, because we want to make sure that when the user is focused there, then these editings take place. Yeah. So, and those ones, we want them to be carried on. We want them to be carried on to the underline after. And then we also want another parameter that will hold the valid, because why do we introduce the valid? We basically bring in that valid statement because it is always important that we make these forms valid. The valid simply means that those input elements meet the requirements. For example, if it is an email, we expect that those emails actually have the @ sign. For example, like at Gmail or at something. That is the major aim why we put the valid. We also need to put it there. So the easiest way to do it is you put a comma and bring another argument. Yeah, you put a comma and bring another argument. So just like it is done in programming. Yeah. So dot that, and now dot container form, and in the form we have input, and now this is valid because we expect them to be valid. Okay. All right. So now these ones here, don't want them really. These ones we don't need them. what we may need is that we may need to transform transform I think we have put somewhere, because if there is, we have put somewhere something that is not following. Now this error is here. Where is the problem? Okay, this one is not supposed to be here. Wow, good. Okay, now these ones only need to transform the scale x to only 1, and then we need to transform the origin, of course, to probably, let's put it to the left so that it moves from left towards the other side. So when I come and I click here, good. Wow, we have done it. So it is moving from the left, and then if it moves from the left, of course it must end to the right. We don't need to define another transform. So now this statement here, you can use this statement everywhere, anywhere, so that it does that thing. That is the power of web development. Once you create a code, you can use that code anywhere or elsewhere. Okay, now these things come, and I'm happy they have come. And now I think this one is the same as this now, because it is doing the same thing. So now we come on this box here, which box is mapped by because we are moving in order, we don't leave anything and don't leave anything out. Now input button. So the button, we call the container and call the form and call the button. Simple like that. We call the container here. We call the form inside the container. The form is inside the container, and now we call the class of button. So here we call dot container, and then we call the form, and then in the form we call dot button. Okay, and now we want that this button has margins. Remember, the margins are left, right, top, and bottom. So we declare 40 pixels. We don't want that one, we don't put it there. So whenever we always have a 0, we don't put any measurements. Whenever we are having a 0, we don't waste our time. Now we want to edit. After having ensured that we now have right margins, and it is now trying to be in order like this one, we are now going to edit the input type. The input type called the submit. This little one, the little input type. Of course, when we are making sites, if it is not a submit, it is a reset. Reset to reset the form. When you have put data inside here and you don't want it, you click cancel or reset somewhere here. When we click now here, it is reset. So we remove the reset and leave the submit. So we are going to call this one. We are going to edit this one so that it now looks like this. This one. See, this one has it has linear gradient. You come on it, it changes. From here, it changes. Now we expect it to be moving to the right, because when you come into it, it is moving to the right. Okay, so what we do here is that, of course, it is in the container, and inside the container we have a form. But now here, even if we don't just move, we don't move there. We come to input box. Why are we coming to input box? Because inside here we have this one, input box, and it is the one that has the submit. So to move to another page, just like I'm doing here, you press control, page up, or page down. Even if you use page up, it will always swing around those files, so that you don't swindle with the key with the mouse moving it to select a file. Those are shortcuts. So input, and inside the input box here, we are going to come to input itself, and inside input we open that with these brackets now to differentiate it from the opening brackets of the argument. And now we declare the type which will equal to, now that the type, we put the type in double quotes, submit, to specify that we are going to only edit what the type called submit. We have different types. We have different types. When you come here, input, you come here and you have not selected. At the moment you type, it gives you, there are very many, month, image, file, email. So if you want to edit email, there in the type you put the word email. But now here we want submit. Now it is submit, and it is actually the one we are interested in, only that one. Now the first thing we want to do, because now we are dying, we want the background to be like the other one. We want to give it a linear gradient, and that linear gradient must be moving to the right. And to the right, we want now let's use the other colors, these ones, because let me just copy this one. I waste my time. Copy this one, and then we move here, and of course when you want to delete something, you press shift and delete. Yeah, so we introduce hours. Hey, I didn't copy. Okay, Control C. Then we come and delete this one, we paste this like this. Now let's go and check. Wow, the gradient, it is not this one. I was beginning to smile. The gradient we have not put. Okay, we have not yet given it a transition so that it moves. But now I'm happy we have the gradient. Now the other thing we want to do about this is to probably, let me check, this is black, and this one is something like maybe 17 font size, and the color is white. White is always denoted with F. So what we want to do is to font size probably 17 pixels, and then the color is denoted to white, which is this F. And let's see. Oh, good. Now let me see. Now when you move the cursor, now and when you come here, what shows? Now you see the cursor here is different from the cursor here. I think now the cursor is a pointer. It is a pointer, but when we come to ours, you see it is not doing what we want. It's shaming us. Now let's come and put the cursor, good, the pointer. Which other parameters does it take? Let's check and see. These are the parameters it takes: grabbing, move, no drop, all these ones, but we were interested in a pointer. So when I refresh this, wow, it has given us it. Now we want because for this one to move, this is what we did, and now this we gave it a transition, and it is the one we want to give it even here. This one we didn't terminate. We want to give it that transition. Okay, right. It is okay. Now I think we have to put a hover so that it gives us that moving thing. What we do is to copy this. We want to copy this and paste it here, and we want to give it a hover. A hover is that thing. When you come on this one. Now that thing that happens is a hover. So you want to apply it onto this one so that it also moves. It moves like that one. Now we want to make that thing. We first make the hover to be to make these words move, to give a line spacing, letter spacing. You see these letters, how they continue is moving. So it is only moving only by 1 pixel. It is moving by only 1 pixel. So ours is failing to move. Let me see. Let me remove this one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let us give a container some options, I think. Let us give it some options. Okay, let's try and see this container dot options. This options is right here. Options is that one down, but now why is this one not moving? Because I expected that it moves, but okay, now let's first edit also these others. Let's edit these others and see. Let me first. Okay. Option. Let me see if it is. Okay, it is option. Yeah. So let me give these ones font. Give them font size to about 14 pixels, and I align the text align to the center so that they all be in the center. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So I have put them in the center, and the other thing I wish to do now is to work upon, let me see what is next. Work upon now, let me see, what is this one? How is it denoted? Now these ones are links by anchor tags. This A is an anchor tag, and they are denoted by classes Twitter and Facebook. So what we do is we call a container and then we call a class.facebook and .twitter, and we first edit these anchor tags. Yeah, after the anchor tags, we can probably edit the I, these ones for links. Yeah. So I think now we can call these ones dot container, and it is the first one is Facebook. You see, whatever, even when we start with Facebook or Twitter. So I copy this same thing, I paste it here, and I remove this and I make it Twitter. I remove this, I open brackets. This means I want to edit the anchor tags of this class and this one, but they are all inside the container. So I want them to display as blocks. I want them to display as blocks. When you look at these ones, they are actually displaying as blocks. All right. So I want that they have a weight and height, probably 45 pixels, and then the width should be to probably 100. You want it to finish. Abirenga kamala eri. Then you want them to have probably a font size, make to around 15. Kulina okubeera nga kugeza nnyo. Okay. Now you want to put text, you want to decorate text to none, so that they don't have any text decoration on them. And then we want to pad them to the left. Say we have left, top, bottom, and right. Okay, padding left. Let's make it about 20 pixels, and want to create a line for it and declare the height of that line to about 45 pixels, and we want to have a color on it. White is 3Fs. Oh, sorry, 3Fs is white. Okay. We want to apply a border radius of about 5 pixels. Let me see what this one has. Of 5 pixels. Now we have put this one in white because these ones are also in white, and they are now not seen because we have not given we have not put a color. Now let's put a transition here. Let's put a transition of all, and let it be 0.3 seconds, and we want it to be is. Okay, now let's have the links. Let's first get the links. Now about the color and the containers, we shall edit them. Like these ones, but we shall edit them later. These colors we shall, because they are anchor tags, we can decide to put them, but we need to edit them distinctively, because now this one has another color and this one has another color. So, and here they are anchor tags, but here what we declared in our CSS does not favor, because it is taking the anchor tags of both of them. So here, this one we can be patient and leave it at that. Then we also edit the container of the links. So you can copy this, copy that and paste it here. Then now we want to edit the I, the I that is for the links. And what we want to give them is that we only want them to pad. This is padding left, but now we want it to be to the right, and to be simply 12 pixels. To be 12 pixels, we don't need these ones, and want it to be to about 12 pixels, and we have to give it probably font size. Font size we can choose 20. Let me see this one. This can be about 20. Now what we are interested in now here is to ensure that it has a padding to its right, and then there is the font size. Now we want now to edit these ones distinctively so that we have the other colors. Let's start with okay, can start with any. Let me see. Oh, Twitter is first. Let us start with Twitter. Let's see. And at the end here, we put Twitter, the anchor tag for Twitter, and we want to give it a background. And that background we need it to be a linear gradient. Hey, also be background, linear, and linear we want it to the right, and to the right we want this color. Now Facebook color code, Twitter, Ctrl A, Twitter color code for CSS. This one, is it going to error pass here? Let me see. Let me try this one and we see. Let's try this one. Yes, it has given it to us. 0, we want it to be to 0%. Let me compare. With what I have. Yeah, it is the same actually. Okay. Now I want this color. Let me go to the internet and see some other color that can help us. Okay. Let me put this one, and I choose from it. What I need is, let me choose the 1MB EFF, and this one I scale it to 100%. Then I see about this. Wow. Now because we declared the other one in white, that is why we are able to see the background. Now let's leave this one when it also has its hover. See, when you come to it, there is some shining, something shining. Now we want the hover to be no much different. Just see, and we paste. Now the A here, we want the A to have a hover like that, and this is the same thing. We want the same thing to be flowing, but we want the margins. I did close because now if I don't see the next argument. If I type and I don't see something, it means I've made an error, I've not closed. Then the IDE assumes that I'm still continuing. Now I want the margin, and those margins, this one is not right. And those margins, the margins we can have 20, 0 and 15. 10 pixels 0 and then 15 pixels and 0 to deal with the right, top, bottom and right, and I mean left. So this is what it is doing. Hey, 20 0 and 15. Okay, now the same thing is going to happen to Facebook. Control C and paste. So here where there was Twitter, you are going to put Facebook, and we put Facebook, and we see it has also come, but there is a problem somewhere. I'm seeing a problem somewhere. Now this hover should be, let's put it to a few feet and see. It has tried to move away. It tries to move away and then it comes back. Now I think let's make this thing here, make it the same. Oh, the battery, I need to insert in, to put into the charger. I need to put it into the charger. Okay. All right. Now I think it is important to also give this thing, because I've seen some abnormalities. Now because this one is scaled to that, we shall copy it and put it like that. Okay, so that they are like that. But now the color, what is the color for Facebook? Let's ask Google. Facebook color codes. It is this one. Okay. Now this one I don't waste my time, I just copy it, and it is the one I'll feed here, and it is the one I'll feed here. There is a problem. There is a problem. Let me remove all these ones. I feed this one. Good. Let me remove these ones. I feed this one and see. Okay. Now I want this one. Let me put this color code is 47 6 BB0. Put a 0 or an 8, or I think it is an 8, and the one I have to put here too, and we see. But today we have done a lot here. Aren't you tired? I suggest we stop here and we shall proceed probably.
On the other hand, most of us, like for my case, I came in late and I found the lecture in midway. I don't have my laptop, so I think you should excuse us. And I really suggest that next time, please record, because kitegere ka lecture nkayingidde late and we need to catch up, so we suggest that next time you record.
Of course, this screen is being recorded. I think up here you can see this thing. Are you seeing this thing here?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Now it is been recording for 1 hour 20 minutes and those seconds. So as we have
Yeah,
been
really.
doing, we have been recording all these sessions, and whoever misses a session, they always visit the where we post them. Yeah, so actually you'll not be affected. You'll not be
Yeah,
affected.
cool. Yeah, it's cool then, because I was stranded with the fact that you're saying that we need to assign in the work after seeing, like we need to follow you up and we give in an output to see what we've been doing. But then with the fact that I wasn't also following up with the practical session, so I was stranded thinking that the session wasn't getting recorded. But if that's the fact, then we are good to go. I'm so happy for that.
Oh, all right, all right. That's okay. So I actually suggest that as for today, we can stop here. We have actually covered a lot. And because we missed on Wednesday, we shall have a session probably tomorrow. Yeah, to cover yesterday's session.
Okay, thanks for the good work though. We're humbled.
All right, welcome. This form is not properly formatted, and that is what we shall proceed with it next time when we meet.
Okay.
All right. See you.